Roses are red. I have a dog and a cat. In my 16 years of doing this, I have never seen something like that. Welcome everybody joining us for the first time. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and for the regular returning members of the RV Nerd Herd, you can call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty. This thing right here, as promised, I'm getting you full walkthrough detail footage of this new 22 veranda model here from the Salem and Wildwood group. You'll see it under two names. It's the exact same thing, Salem or Wildwood, but 22 veranda. And there's never been something quite like this. The RV industry has been starting to flirt with the concept of like rear patio campers, but they were always like a 36 or maybe a 48-inch deck. You can barely fit one chair on there, let alone a couple people hanging out on the thing. Well, they have cracked that code. What this thing has is literally a rear rack and pinion, effectively floor flush deck slide on the back that creates an actual functional party space. Obviously, you can have some chairs, you can do some grilling. There's literally a water mister built into the back porch of this thing, so if you're sitting there grilling on a crazy hot day because it gets real hot, you can stand there and get some of that heat off of you. It is wild, the details that they considered and thought about. Now in this one right here, this is the smallest, lightest, least expensive of all the current existing veranda models. The rear deck actually functionally acts as the primary entry door, but the living area inside does not suck at all. Frankly, I really like the entertainment center, and the kitchen has a shocking amount of wraparound counter space with even a countertop solid surface extension that opens up and gives you more space when and where you want it. We have a walk-through bathroom, which some folks may not like. We have an Olympic Queen private front bedroom with a cool little pet step even arrangement if you camp with your four-legged furry friends, and a bunch of other things. It is cool, it is wacky, it is weird, it is different. It's not gonna be for everybody, but I love something that's a little bit uncommon, and I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me some notes, let me know where they nailed it, where they failed it, and we're gonna start going through this in good, bad, and everything in between. Let's go. Don't get me wrong, the interior of this RV doesn't suck. It's got a lot of flash and pizzazz, but I think the thing that's going to be most interesting to folks is probably what's going on back here, because if you don't like the rear deck, you're probably not even going to have this RV in the the running for consideration. So what you're looking at here, it's two sections. The first section that you're looking at is 75 inches long off the back wall of the RV. The second one is another 40 inches. So what, just over 9 feet, 115-inch long deck? That's functional. Is it a 40-foot residential deck patio custom build job? No, but it's not trying to be that either. What I love about this is whether it's like a toy hauler ramp patio deck or this thing, I don't know what it is. It's snooty and it's exclusionary, but it is just really, really fun to come out here and literally look down to people. This is what goes through my head every time I do it. Every time I come out, whether it's a toy hauler or one of these patios, I always look at all the people walking around and I always think to myself, behold, peasants, I have emerged, gaze upon me. You're a liar if you didn't think the exact same thing. Awkward. Yeah. So judge me if you want. You know you've thought about it. It's like eating chips in church. You see someone doing it, yeah, you judge them, but secretly like, I want some of those chips. Anyway, moving on. Look at this. Let me, stand back here. This cookout grill wet bar space, this is awesome. Let's start looking at this thing in all kinds of detail. Now, I'm a little over 6 foot. Yeah, wearing shoes, I just clear that, but this is the shortest of all the verandas. The rest are gonna be even taller. And you can see above me here, we got the double lightsaber lighting. It works pretty well. So, again, very residential, trendy, little like aluminum top sink here. And we do have, cool little wash your hand action. You see that little blue knob? Keep that logged in your memory banks for a minute. But if you're gonna be out here, you wanna do some, campsite cooking, hard to beat a griddle. And having this sucker just all set, slotted right in there and ready for action. But when you're done, you can just close it up and keep the frickin' raccoons off that thing. That's nice. But you know the problem, if you're sitting under this thing and you're cooking up a storm, it's gonna be hotter than downtown heck down here, and you're gonna need to cool off. And that is where this little thing comes in. Well, built into the back of this thing off the patio, take a look at this. It literally has a cooling water mister system built right into it. So if you're sitting up here cooking and sweating to the oldies the way Richard Simmons used to, well, you don't have to die of heat stroke off the back of this thing, which is, I think, pretty darn nice. Now, what's cool is how it's like very well defined, but also very open air. You know, if you wanted to like hang some lights or something off this thing, I could see a lot of different things going on. Now, in case you're curious, one of the first questions I asked you, I said, okay, so that's like a poly material. That's not real wood, right? So water doesn't rot it. And they said, yes, of course. Now, I will get you my normal road mode footage with slides closed, and that includes this extra 40-inch section back here. Because again, it is a rear rack and pinion system, which is uncommon, but it works, you know? Now down below here, notice that you actually have individual water shutoff valves. That kind of came as a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought was very, very cool. You got the extra little fridge outdoors. That is 110. That is not 12 volts. So you're going to want to kind of keep that in mind. And I suppose if you really didn't care about the griddle whatsoever, you wouldn't necessarily have to use the griddle. You could probably just get that out of there. Now, again, if what you're looking for is some space to actually set up some chairs and have a real patio experience, that's where this one comes in here. But what's also kind of nice is it is just a traditional, hold on, I got to get it all the way shut. There we go. Oh, still didn't latch. Okay, well, I suck at that. I'm not good with my left hand. Latching patio privacy door. Hopefully it works better than, well, you're better at it than I am, so some gas station murder hobo doesn't come in the middle of the night. But that's the other interesting thing with this floor plan. The patio door on this essentially is the main entry door. But what's really cool about that? That means they had 26 to 30 extra inches of campside sidewall space to play with. They didn't have to make room and allowances for a door. And as silly as that sounds, that changes equations. Now, we've got the new, again, lightsaber light beams, just like you saw out on the patio. You've got them here. If you hear a little bit of noise, listen to this. I'm standing directly under the 15,000 BTU Coleman Mach air conditioner on absolute max crank because it's 103 with some pretty rough humidity where I'm at locally here, so I am very thankful to now be inside. Now, it's a step-up slide, and that only exists here on the X-Lite Cruise Light smaller veranda models. They don't do this on any of the bigger ones. But the thing is, they've upgraded their hardware on this last year. This is not a Schwintek, it's not an exact slide, it's not any of that. It's called an Assassin Power Gear slide system. And if that probably doesn't sound familiar, it might look familiar though, that is used in quite a few Class C motorhomes. One of the really cool things, when we close the slides for road mode, you can still set in, lay down in, occupy that slide while it's retracted. And most towable RVs don't allow for that. Now, I hope you like radius corners, because they went all in on things like radius corners and adding some LED accent lights and stuff to this. I ain't mad at it. I think it looks awful nice myself. And if, you know, the RV, you'll see as we go through here and I swing around a little more, it has some decent campsite viewing coverage. But what's happening with this patio space is just something else right here. But also the entertainment center. They gave us a what is that? Like a... What size is it? I can't see what size it is. I need to get... So I have new contacts with my new prescription, but I'm one of these people that pinches pennies until Lincoln squeals. So I'm hell-bent on election for using up the last of my old contacts, which my vision's not as good with. I probably shouldn't be doing that. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I am. So neither here nor there. I'm shooting from the hip. It's like, what? Somewhere between 40 to 50 inch, maybe 50 inch TV. Now, this is 50 amp. It is prepped and ready for a second air conditioner. These are brand new, and this is on the X-Lite Cruise Light platform, so I don't know if 50 amp service is going to be an option or second air will be an option, but I know obviously in some way, shape, or form, it maybe could be possible. But when you have all this glass and everybody being able to stare in at you, or if it's a crazy hot sunny day, what do? Well, you pull the shades, and if you notice, they put some pretty heavy linens on that sucker, so that if you really want to be able to blot out the sun, you absolutely have the ability. Now, this is a miniature version of their Versa Lounge, basically, but it folds down. Like, it's an awesome multi-seat situation. It's not any sort of theater recliner, so keep that in mind. But it folds down into a more than adult-sized bed, for sure, with all kinds of storage below it. You have 4 of those food-safe storage totes right below it right there. And you don't have the opportunity for a slide side window, so they dress it up a little bit so that you still get some light over there. And the living room's cool, the patio's cool, but this kitchen also doesn't suck. There's not a whole lot about this RV that I can really nitpick. There might be some things, like some people say the deck is stupid. I don't like the walk-through bathroom, and that's okay. I'm not criticizing you. I don't think you're wrong for saying that. I'm just saying that I've yet to find the one RV that's for everybody, but overall, I like this thing, and I think you're going to like it too. Now, just to kind of complete the 360-degree view that we've gone through over here, we are back to that 60-inch wide fireplace. There we go. Okay, so if that's 60 inches wide, yeah, I bet that's a 50-inch TV. I'm not really OCD. I don't mean to diminish like an actual medical condition, but my triggers are going off here because I don't think that TV is exactly centered in the wall, but okay, whatever. I like how they changed the wallboard a little bit too. It just kind of helps define and separate the kitchen from the living room. But look at all that, like, it doesn't look like a big kitchen. Look at all the actual countertop prep space, and it's all solid surface. It is absolutely awesome. But you haven't seen like a traditional dining arrangement. Remember, first and foremost, this is primarily a couple's rig. So they give us an extending kitchen dining bar over here, which I was using as my laptop desk earlier. I'm not saying I would want to do it full-time professionally like that, but I could make it work. They have also maintained, including an oven, albeit a small one, but including an oven, where so many manufacturers have not. But what's really interesting, you're not seeing the microwave, but take a look at this. The microwave is just hiding behind door number 1. It's not like they got rid of it by any means. There's also a spice rack built onto the side of that, which I think is kind of cool. I knew a girl once that liked those. I called her a spice girl. Moving on. That's a terrible dad joke. I don't even know that's a dad joke. That's just a sad joke right there. The extending kitchen countertop thing, it's cool because it creates extra space if you want it, but if you want more walk-through room, you can do that too. That slide open pantry though, I will take that 10 times out of 10. I love it when manufacturers make storage come to you instead of you digging armpit deep to get to the storage. The only time that isn't awesome is if you do happen to drop something back there. Oh, that's when it becomes not fun. But, you know, everything's got its ups and its downs. All of our controls are kind of located over here by the kitchen. They're not up all the way to the ceiling, but they're also not down where kids would possibly get to them. The camera light might flicker a little bit, but we do have, again, dimmer switch lighting in here, which is an awesome, awesome little accent. Now, they've gone to a JBL sound system in here, which a stick and tin camper with a decent sound system like this is kind of a rare find. I always try to be fair. I try to share good with bad. It's a dollar store 4-inch fart fan. For all the cool things they did not upgrade the bathroom fan, and it is what it is, I suppose, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, it's like Christmas when my daughter was younger. We tell her, sometimes you get toys, sometimes you get socks. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Except, you know, you're not getting this thing, you're paying for it. So I don't blame you for maybe wanting something a little bit better. It's not exactly a perfect metaphor. What is nice though, the space around the toilet's fantastic. Now the RV's 6.5 foot tall. I'm a little taller than 6 foot, so my head does definitely have to be in that skylight. However, it is a radius bar, shower door, curtain combo, whatever you want to call that thing. So it's it does provide some decent elbow room, which is cool. And again, I told you, I hope you like radius work and backlighting because whoosh, they went all in on it, basically. They went all in on it. Now this looks like a giant amount of storage. I don't want to lie by omission and just conveniently forget to open it. It's basically just plumbing access is all that really is. Sliding pocket privacy door on both sides of the walk-through bathroom. When we get up front here, if you read their marketing materials, they call this a custom king bed. Well, it's an Olympic queen basically. It's 66 inches wide, 78 inches long. Thing is, though, you want to get an Olympic queen bed, you want to get a true queen bed, it should still pretty much work right there. You might notice, though, how it's on their VersaTilt system. It sucks the foot of the bed up a little bit and creates an awesome big space right here that you can use in a couple of interesting ways. Now, that second entry door right there, since that door opens directly into where the foot of the bed is located, you can actually use this front area for like potential cargo space, which is really interesting. And this year, it came at the expense of losing a little bit of walk-around space, but they built in a little pet step for your four-legged furry friends. It's really funny. I've got a little 14 to 16 pound ball of fluff dog named Carlos, and my wife's parents, my parents, everybody said they would never let that dog sleep with them in bed, and they were kind of surprised that we did. And then the very first time we asked any of them to dog sit for us, he jumped up in bed and he gave him that little puppy smile and those big eyes. And guess what? He slept in bed with them all night. So having an easy way for him to get up and, having a wider bed for the dog to be able to cuddle in there. Because I don't know the math, but a 14-pound dog occupies 2/3 of a residential queen bed. Let's just say I was pretty happy with it. It made life a little bit simpler there. So I've given you a nice kind of look around the bedroom, couple extra details. Both sides of the bed, you can see, have like side stands with power outlets. And I like how they actually move the outlets over here up a little bit so you can actually see them and use them without having to kind of like dig and like get the mattress out of the way. Now, if I open this up right here, we are on the X-Lite Cruise Light platform. They don't include struts for the overhead cabinets, which, by the way, this is called TFL. It's a thermofoil laminated one-piece seamless door, basically. All of the doors in this are built that exact same way. Sorry, I've jumped around a lot of topics. I'm dehydrated as heck. I don't remember what I was saying. So regardless, let's just open up our bedroom storage over here, and you can see you've got like the closet space on the left, little laundry hamper at the bottom. You've got all kinds of tote space under the easy lift bed. You got the extra little storage above. But one of the things I love here is they gave us a massive window. It's on the driver's side. It's not on the campsite, but they did what they could to give us a massive window where it was possible. You also do have some TV hookups over in this corner. Now, what I'm curious about, and I'm about to start getting a bunch of really weird looks, I'm really curious as to what the road mode on this RV is going to look like. That right there, that's what I was wondering about. I wasn't sure how deep the slide was in relation to how it interacts with that bathroom door. So we are going to end up with what I call two-stage travel access, but I just noticed something. This little extending kitchen counter, you can pull that open and you could actually sit in the sofa and munch on something at a travel stop, not to mention the fact that you actually can step in and around that slide to get back into the kitchen. So you actually have a nice little snack-tastic access back here while you're traveling. But remember, this patio deck system actually has a rack and pinion slide. Now, sorry if the camera work got a little wonky. I'm Michael Jackson moonwalking backwards on this. So this is what it's going to look like whether you're maybe in long-term storage or traveling. And that's already bigger than most manufacturers give you for decks. Now, sliding forward here, we're going to come back and catch the rest of the outside in a minute. Remember what I was talking about when I said the bedroom could act like a little bit of a cargo space? Look at that. You open that door and you have a very solid loading space right here. Now, it doesn't have cargo tie downs or anything like that. It is a 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor, by the way. And I do like the location of that converter panel, because let's say something goes screwy on one of those slides, you're not blocked from getting to it. So the patio door, if you're going to make a travel stop, that's where you could grab a bite to eat. Your bedroom door, this is nap and crap-tastic access right here. And if you appreciate how we get you the travel mode footage, hit that subscribe button. Or don't. I can't tell you what to do. So this is normally the part of the video where I like to talk towing, and hopefully by the time this video comes out, weights and measures have been made available to me and on the left side of the screen, because as I stand here right now, this RV has not actually gone through like Forest River weights and measures checking. So I think it weighs about 6,800 pounds dry, but that's not GVW. That's not towing length, because that's one of the things to remember is this like 3-foot deck extension back here. That's not sticking out while you're towing. That is literally like a rack and pinion slide kind of system. So, you know, this is still probably the type of RV you're going to leave parked in one place more often than not. But it is also something that periodically maybe you feel like moving. I guess we could call it a semi-permanent park type camper, you know. Now, again, today we're looking at a Salem. Wildwood's the exact same thing. So the next one you look at might have a little bit different graphic right there. Now, as we get over here, because this is built in accordance with the Salem Cruise Light Wildwood X-Lite platform. Remember, that is that motorhome style. It's called the Assassin Power Gear Slide System. And it's not rack and pinion. It's not Schwintek. It's not any of those things. It's its own kind of different, unique entity. And again, one of the cool benefits of it is it's very robust, and you can actually sit in it even while it's retracted. Now, this right here is a little bit different. I need to do some verification, so hopefully I remember to put some notes on screen. The gas grill quick connect is, I think, fairly obviously going to be for your griddle, but you have this water outlet right here. If I'm reading this correctly, that is coming straight out from under the sink. I don't know if this actually has a rear onboard gray tank. If it does, it's definitely a standalone tank separate from the rest of the kitchen. Again, this is all very new. I'm kind of, I'm doing it live, Bill O'Reilly style, trying to get you all this information as soon as I can. And I'm gonna have to go in and fill some of the Swiss cheese blanks later. Now, the metal that we're looking at is, it's funny, it's actually an older style of metal. But remember how bell bottoms came back for a little bit and they were called flares? Well, they're just calling this retro metal. And which sounds like something that like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne would be interested in, retro metal. But that's only if you're on the crazy train. And if you are, you got another thing coming, okay? That's a dad joke trifecta right there, by the way. Enjoy. The thing that I'm getting at here, though, is it's thicker. It's more dent resistant. It also has an anti-scratch coating on it, which I think is very cool. Now, they, you know, before I overpromise and underdeliver, I better make sure, yes, they do have a full pass-through compartment. You might notice, though, they do put a little bit bigger baggage door over there on the other side, but did you see that netting on the right side of the screen all up in your face? Well, that's basically like where the laundry hamper is from the inside. So you do have a place to put yesterday's clothes now that it's today. Now, this is actually basically an old production facility that we they just have these parked in for the time being. So apologies as we get some basically scaffolding in the way. That's a roof lift. You don't care what it is. Why do I always get off track like that? Power tongue jack. I believe you can option power corner stabilizers. I may be mistaken on that. On a normal Cruise Light X-Lite, you would be able to. Again, I'm kind of figuring this all out on the fly. This is also kind of interesting. They've maintained the little dry erase board right here. And notice the lightsaber light beam action that we have going on here. Whether it is, you know, over here, behind that baggage door, over the Salem or Wildwood decal, or right here under the awning. It's not the ... dash Morse code style. They're just lighter, brighter, and I think they look a little cooler, but that's just me. That, by the way, is also a tankless on-demand water heater, 60,000 BTU variety. If I'm being nitpicky, though, this is mostly a couples camper, so maybe this doesn't apply. But we have put the furnace and the water heater exhaust over here on the campsite of the RV, dead under the middle of the awning, because there was nowhere else to put it on this RV, if you really think about it. Unless you were willing to give up the front pass-through, there was nowhere else to put it. Now, the water heater's location is right between the kitchen and the bathroom, so you're getting hot water to your fixtures and features ASAP. But you have hot air exhaust points over on the campsite of the RV now, and that's not awesome. So I hope you appreciate that. I'll point that out. Now, by the way, for stabilization, this RV actually has 6 stabilizers. You've got 2 up front, then you have 4 back here. Plus, these steps, they couldn't use the like Moride style folding steps or whatever, so they added that cool little solid stance double jack foot drop right there, and it is sturdy and stable. And even having multiple grown adults walking around this thing today, I have not personally experienced any sort of seasickness or issues like that here. So if you like this concept, but maybe this floor plan isn't the exact execution that you're looking for, keep an eye on the background for the next minute or so here, because the cool thing is this is just the first of several veranda floor plans that are going to be coming out. So if you want more in the way of things like campsite window coverage, if you want something that you're not going to be towing that's going to be bigger, longer, gonna stay there longer, well, they got something like that too. I've actually done a full preview video of all 3 verandas in one shot if you want to get a rough idea of one of these. But in the meantime, take a look in the video description. You can see where we have one of those parked, what we're asking on a given day, whether it's a Salem or a Wildwood. And again, if they haven't come out already, I will be having my full walkthrough videos of the other 2 veranda models coming very, very soon. So if you want to see some other cool stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And that is getting very, very bright as I've been inside for the last hour and a half. So take care, stay safe, have fun. Don't go blind, everyone.